What do you do if you've got Venev diamond stones, and I suspect it works with other diamond stones as well, when your stone just doesn't cut as well as it used to? First off, let me talk about Gritomatic.com. That's where I get all of my sharpening stuff. This video is not sponsored. They did not ask me to make this video. I'm just giving out information. Canadian Cutting Edge University Lecture number 29. It's going to be quite short. I've got another video that I did, I think back in 2018. I talked about how to flatten silicon carbide stones. You know, silicon carbide stones tend to cup while they get wore out in a dip in the middle pretty quickly, meaning they get thin in the middle area while the ends stay the original thickness because you don't sharpen over the end of your stone. Now this one's not thinned out. I end up flattening my stones quite frequently because if it gets thin there, you're changing the angle as well. But yeah, if it starts thinning out here, you can flatten your stone out. And I show how to do that. Well, diamond stones don't tend to cup. What they do is they just stop cutting as well as they used to. And by the way, you can get, flat stone style, 8 inches by 3 1/4 inches, I think they are. This is an 8-inch long Venev stone, 1.5 inch wide, or is it 1 1/4 inch? Standard 6 by 1 inch, narrow ones. They got KME size ones. They got specialty ones here for you doing recurves. This is sort of rounded on the top. So the technique that I'm going to talk about doesn't work for these, but works for any of these that are flat. I need to clarify, it works with Venev diamond stones because see this orange layer? That entire layer has diamonds all the way through it. Same with this brownish tan colored layer on the other side. There's a matrix here, sort of a resin type stuff. I'm not sure exactly what they use, but it holds diamonds all the way through it. The system that I'm talking about today does not work on this type of stone. We've got an aluminum plate here, but the way it's made, you see that very thin plate? These diamonds are glued on top of that plate. If you try to do what I'm suggesting with this kind of diamond, you're just going to strip all the diamonds off of it and make it even less useful than it already was. It only works with stones that are made in this type of way. There's a metal in the middle, but there's a layer with the diamonds in it. That's critical. So what do? You basically do the exact same thing as you do for flattening a carbide stone. Let me briefly show you how that works. Or you can go back and watch that 2018 video. It's going to be linked at the very end of this video. I'll also link it down below, and I'll link it in the comments. Make it easy for you guys to find that information. Keep watching. I apologize for the lack of light. Camera's picking up pretty well. I'm in my utility room. The furnace might cut in, I don't know. I've got glass here. It's about 3/8 of the inch thick. Details about the glass is in that other video. You use some of this stuff, silicon carbide powder. Comes in a variety of grits. This is F120, roughly. I was hoping to get F100, but I didn't have that. This is my 200 micron stone. And I spoke with the guys at Gritomatic, and they said use probably about F100 or whatever. And you can cut new edges on your stone with this. Also, it's going to keep it flat at the same time. And use the exact same technique that you do with flattening a stone. Water on the glass, some silicon carbide powder, and you just move it around. Now, this is going to be loud, but you just move it around. Not too much pressure. Try to keep it even all the way along. And just keep doing it until you're going to get a new cutting on this thing. And it'll work again. I've sharpened at least 500 knives with this. Now this 200 grit, I've used this to reprofile so many edges. If you've been on my channel for a while, you know how almost every knife that I buy has been terribly sharpened, and you got to create a brand new edge bevel on the whole knife. So I've done that with about 500 knives on here. And to get this to start to cut again, it's as easy as but it's going to take some time. I'm not going to make you watch all that time. That's the technique. If you want more details on the technique, go and watch that video from 2018 on how to flatten silicon carbide stones. You use the exact same kind of product to do that. I should clarify, just in case some people don't quite understand, what you're doing is you're wearing down some of the adhesive that's in there. If you see this thing's at least 1 millimeter thick, a little over 1/16 of an inch thick of diamond, a layer with diamonds going all the way through it. So you can do this multiple times. What you're doing is you're breaking down that adhesive layer, the adhesive that's in among it, so that you're exposing more diamonds again. After doing this for a while, you start to see some of the color, like it's not just the grit there anymore. Like at the edges here, you can see the grit, but you're starting to see some of that sort of grayish, brownish color, and that's that adhesive wearing down. And so you can see it in there. So you can not only see when you're getting close to done, you can feel it. Now, if you rub your hands on there, for mine, it's still rougher here and here than it is in the middle, which means I got to go a little bit longer because, you know, the ends of your stone are the ones that get the very least wear when you're sharpening. Just like with a silicon carbide stone that gets cupped, the middle gets done the most. So make sure you're feeling in the middle for when you're getting some of that grittiness back and you can feel the diamond in there. Now, if you're not sure if you're feeling diamond or leftover powder here, you can rinse it off with a little bit of water. And then, you know, I can feel with my thumb. Yeah, it's much more aggressive here and here still. It's not aggressive enough there. So I just have to do it more and take more time. Now, you do put some pressure on there. I didn't mean to say that you don't put any pressure on, but try to keep it very even. You don't want to be putting more pressure on one end than you do on the other, or one side than you do on the other. You got to keep it perfectly flat as possible. I worked on it for about 20 minutes, and you know, it's wet, and I felt like it was done, and I looked at it, and it just looked like it was done. Now that it's mostly dried, maybe you can see there's sort of a brownish ghost down the middle, and right down the middle there, it was wore down. So these things definitely do cup with use, but it's very slight. So I really should be taking it in probably for another 20 minutes until I get it all uniform, but already everywhere, even in that middle section, I can see the glint of diamonds quite a bit more than I could before. Hopefully you've learned something. Please leave a comment down below. You have any questions? I'd love to answer them for you. Check out Gritomatic.com. I don't have a discount code for them, but I think they're the best place to get most of the stuff that you want for sharpening. Maybe even all of the stuff that you want for sharpening. Certainly everything, you know, for TS Prof kind of products, a whole bunch of other products and different brand names I've never heard of, and I want to try some of those brand names. They've got sharpening products from the Ukraine, they got sharpening products from Poland, you know, all over Eastern Europe and beyond. So if you're interested, check them out. And if you do have a sharpening system, sort of like maybe this Work Sharp Precision Adjust, they've got adapters to make it better. And I've got to review some lights for these yet, actually lights that you can use with any sharpening system. If you need just a little bit more light where you're working, you know, they've got that kind of stuff too. Just check out their website. They've got all kinds of stuff. Thanks for watching. Thanks to my supporters. You guys are awesome. And remember, friends, always cut towards your chum, not your thumb.